1 year anniversary. Trump, when was it? Was it 2 days ago?
July 13th. It was
Sunday.
It was Sunday. It happened on a Saturday, but this year
the anniversary of the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump at the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee released a damning report detailing systemic failures by the United States Secret Service. All right, these are going to be on the screen. Guys, I'm going to read the list. Number 1, the Secret Service denied multiple requests for additional staff, assets, resources to protect the president. Weird. They did not fire a single person involved in the planning or execution of the Butler rally. They formally disciplined only 6 personnel. You know what that means? Yelling at people. Former director Kimberly Cheadle falsely testified to Congress that no Secret Service asset requests were denied for Butler rally. Okay, guys, if I'm mistaken, lying to Congress, you should be in jail. Moving on. Counter snipers were not present on July 9th, Doral campaign rally. There were ill-defined responsibilities for Secret Service agents. U.S. agents failed to communicate crucial information regarding the suspicious individual to President Trump's shift detail. Bro, this is so freaking bad. That should have been preventing him from taking the stage. 7, pertinent threat intelligence related to the protectee was not shared with those Secret Service agents in charge on Butler. And there was a severe lack of coordination and communication between the Secret Service and state and local law enforcement for the advanced process through the event. Now, I'm going to give it to you, like, if you guys don't believe at this point that and again, I'm going back, Rob, we talked about this before we got here. 9/11, all the failures, all the warnings, all the everything. Move forward. October 7th, all the warning, Egypt warning, all this failure, whoops, the most highly secure place on the planet. Whoa, no, and no accountability. Look at this freaking list, bro. This is just eight of the basic things. This is not only failure, bro. It's negligence on purpose.
It's deliberate, and I take flack for it because, you know, like you say, there it says, never attribute to malice what you can attribute to incompetence. First of all, worth noting, we were told that the additional requests which were denied or not satisfied was false news at the time.
Yes.
This is, I want to say, strategic retardation. It's a joke. It's a joke that they didn't have drones in the sky, knowing that there was a credible threat from Iran 10 days earlier. Yep. That they didn't have communications between local law enforcement and Secret Service. When you watch the video of lining up all of the various angles, it was 2 minutes and 3 seconds that this guy was getting on a roof, people shouting he's got a gun, and Trump is on stage, nothing. It cannot be accidental. I want to say Don Cheadle. Kim Cheadle, who got her job at
He'd probably do better at her job than she did.
First of all, I would have done better at all of their job. You know, they call it the Pac-Man perimeter. How they determined a perimeter to deliberately carve out the most ideal point of sniper shot.
That's the worst. By the way, I almost wouldn't even let him go on there unless there was somebody on that roof. Period.
So you cannot even explain it away by incompetence. This is not like stuff like, oh, who could have possibly foreseen hacking the drone to fly it? No, this is basic level stuff. A freaking Cub Scout would have done better. A hypochondriacal, neurotic, Canadian would have done exponentially better. And you cannot but conclude that this was layered incompetence, deliberate for something bad happens, will reap the benefits. Kim Cheadle, appointed by, or at least got her job on the basis of Jill Biden. Jill Biden had her rally that day. They had extra security for an indoor event. You cannot draw any other conclusion than there was an outcome that, had it happened, they would have all cried and said, oh my goodness, what do we do now? And none of them would have cared.
None of them would have cared. And the only person, besides this 6 people that got yelled at, guys, he gets shot and killed. Kim Cheadle gets arrested. Oh, I'm sorry, not arrested. She steps down and it's over. And then they have all of us talking like JFK for fucking 40 years. Sorry for my language. Dude, it's bananas. And to put a cherry on top, out of 92 rallies, CNN goes, you know what? Guys, I have a weird feeling. This is going to be a really good one. Let's live stream this one. Give me a freaking break. Somebody knew. Somebody told everybody what was going on. Everybody at Secret Service, whoever was put on that detail, was shitty at their job. Leadership made them all freaking fail because this was going to be a whoops, we messed up. It's horseshit. And what drives me crazy is, bro, even the President Trump is like this, Rob. I'm cool. I'm good. No, dude, that's what's infuriating people like us, especially with the Epstein shit we're going to get to. Where's the accountability? What the fuck is going on? I don't get it. Arrest somebody. Somebody has to go to jail. Am I losing my mind? From 9/11, from JFK, I get it. Everybody from JFK is dead. I get it. That was their plan. But for the love of God, please, I just want to see one person handcuffs. The only Republican, who was it? George Santos? He just got arrested.
7 years in jail.
7 years. One guy for what did he do?
Telling on the other guys.
He
embezzle some
money. Ooh, these people are killing fucking people. Oh my God.
It is the problem when the problem dealing with this is, Trump is relying on them currently for his life, literally, as is his family. It was 6 agents who received unpaid. What do they call it when you're unpaid administrative leave of 10 to 42 days during the summer? I'm making a joke. It's like an unpaid summer vacation.
It is.
The question is whether or not they were responsible or they're taking the fall because the higher ups.
They're taking the fall.
And I think they are because whoever determined the Pac-Man perimeter made a mistake. The supervisor who doesn't go in there and say who's got that roof didn't just make a mistake, derelicted at their duties.
100%.
But Trump is sitting there saying, look, it was as much of an admonishment as he could politely do in that interview with Fox News. Like, yeah, they had a rough day. Yeah, I'm satisfied.
No.
Except they should have done this. They should have done that. Yeah, I'm satisfied. And people need to be charged, but they won't be.
Rob, what do you think?
It's crazy that we forget, because so much has happened since July 13th, that the Biden administration was declining requests for additional Secret Service by the Trump campaign before the assassination attempt in Butler on July 13th. According to reports, 10 requests for resources such as enhanced counter drone systems, counter assault team personnel, and counter snipers were denied by Kim Cheadle leading up to the Butler assassination attempt. So not only did they fumble it the day of, and in my opinion, maliciously hoping that something bad would happen, but they prevented additional resources being given to protect Trump leading up to the assassination. And then you look at other intelligence failures. Last night I was like, well, let me take a look at some of the other times that we have been told it was an intelligence failure. The left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. September 11th, we all know. But you look at Pearl Harbor. U.S. intelligence failed to adequately interpret and act on signals of an impending Japanese assault. The Iraqi weapons of mass destruction, intelligence failure. Iranian Revolution in 79, intelligence failure. Tet offensive in 68, intelligence failure. Yom Kippur War in 1973. Guess what? Intelligence failure. Hey, guess what happened October 7th of 2023?
What, Rob?
Oh, Hamas attacked Israel. Guess what that was?
Intelligence failure.
Cuban Missile Crisis, Indian nuclear test, Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. All of these have been simply labeled intelligence failures. Well, at what point do we stop accepting the narrative that it's an intelligence failure and we do something to fix the intelligent community so it never fails again and we never have circumstances like this where a president is shot in the fucking face while he's on stage for the entire world to see? And to your point about CBS, I see a lot of people... CNN. See a lot of people try and fact check that online. And the most information that I could be able to find when it comes to did CNN live stream any of Trump's other 92 rallies was that for their part, CNN has said that they have, but CNN cannot state any dates to which they did. That's the craziest. Yeah, we did. Oh, when? We don't remember.
Bullshit.
You're a news organization.
Yeah, bullshit, Rob.
Do you guys think we've ever had a real terrorist attack?
No, meaning that they didn't know about it ahead of time?
I don't think we have.
Absolutely not. I agree with you, meaning they knew, bro, everything. And again, Alberto, I'm going to go to you. Great question. We are so technologically advanced. They know everything. For something to happen post-2000, you're full of shit. The security apparatus is so precise. Now cut to 2020 on. If you think I believe all this is a coincidence, October 7th, coincidence, 9/11, how many more things at the point? Condoleezza Rice called the mayor of Chicago and said, don't fly to New York that day. Do me a favor. I have to move away from the mic. Fucking investigate her. Grab her and say, what did you know? Why shouldn't he fly to New York that day? Is the weather bad, bitch? What do we... Dude, it's unbelievable. And Rob made a good point. News keeps happening and we keep going away. No, dude, there needs to be a civilian accountability board. Literally. Accountability, civilians that go, wait a minute. You guys, there's too much shit happening. We'll take this one. Yeah. We're going to take this one. Guess what? October 7th, we're doing research. Oh, by the way, they knew it was going to happen. And there's no excuse for 6 hours that Hamas was running in there, kidnapping people.
6.
got-
It was 12 and upwards of more that
Okay,
they
are you ready for this?
for a country that is 6 hours to drive across.
Are you ready for this? I just talked to the CIA guy. He said every one, if the border of Jordan it touches Israel, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ready for this? He said every 1,000 meters there's a guard shack for miles with an armed guard, and they will shoot you dead if you cross that. And he goes, you mean to tell me that these Hamas paragliding losers came in? You're never gonna sell me on that shit, never. And I don't care how many IDF people that I meet try to go to me, go, well, Vinny, the day I go, bro, save your breath. It ain't gonna work. Humberto, go. I'm so pissed off today. I don't know what happened.
Well, it's been a lot. It's been a hard week to look for the truth. Well, okay, like I think to Rob's point, I think incompetence is the new malice. All right. We're seeing weaponized incompetence everywhere. We're seeing it we see it on terrorist attack. We see it like California, all right, with their budgets. You know how they're giving the money to all these losers, immigrants, and then the people from LA, they don't have hospitals, they don't have fire.
Nothing.
Like incompetence is the new malice. Now, I wanna bring another angle to this. All right, I think the true start of the show on that day was God. All right, because they tried. You know, like
course they did.
there's no doubt they tried. If you really think about it, and you should, Vinny, you know, like the number of variables that are involved, the physics that are involved to have a bullet fly, could be one shooter, two shooter, doesn't
And
matter.
a second off. A second
And
of a
then
head turn.
and it's a millisecond of a
Now
head
Trump's
turn.
spitting in God's face.
Huh?
And now Trump is spitting in God's face
With what?
by being a bitch. By not being curious about this at all, by not being transparent about Epstein. So God saves you like that, and you don't put it all out on the line. It's offensive.
He does kind of. I mean,
It is weird that Donald Trump has continued to go after Rosie O'Donnell more than 20 years after the start of their initial
point.
feud when Rosie called him out about this. Actually went down a rabbit hole and found the original video. Just so you know, Rosie started it.
I know.
Rosie was the one. She started taking shots at Donald in 2006 over a Miss USA thing. But it's weird that he hangs on to that. And he continues to go home on that. But the one thing that a majority of Americans went, I'm going to vote for that guy because I just witnessed what happened. He's like, yeah, I'm good on that. I've wiped my hands. This is a guy that, and I like him. I do. I believe that he is earnest in his attempts to save America, or at least right the wrongs that have been done. But for him to look past and just completely go, no, I'm very satisfied with the findings of the result, that doesn't sound like Donald Trump at all.
In fairness to Trump, he said, I'm satisfied, and then went on to enumerate 2 inexcusable, inexplicable failings. Yeah, there should have been law enforcement communicating with Secret Service, but I'm satisfied. Yeah, they should have secured that building, but I'm satisfied. Yeah, you know, they had a bad day. So that satisfied sounds more like an insult than an affirmation. But just to highlight one thing, because when you say, like, you know, declining drone surveillance or snipers in prior events, they knew, obviously everybody knew, you don't need classified intelligence to know, but there was classified intelligence that there was a specific Iranian threat that they were talking about using drones to assassinate the president. And they don't have drone surveillance the day of, and they've got this freaking, you know, borderline mentally impaired kid flying a drone with a rangefinder hours before. It was, in my view, quite clearly a let it happen on purpose, whether it's Iran, whether it's an unhinged lefty lunatic. Let's just leave that rooftop open. Let's just claim layered incompetence so that Cheadle comes in and says, oh, no, it was local law enforcement. They didn't tell us. Well, they couldn't tell you because they didn't have any communications. And so everybody can blame everybody. But meanwhile, but for the grace of God, you know, Curran and the Secret Service team would have been lying over a body instead of lying over a human. And what can you do about it now? You know, Trump's being polite, but these sanctions, there should be criminal charges, not unpaid administrative leave for a month and a half during summer.
I agree, because guess what? If it happened once, you don't think those same, like just because he's now the Secret Service under your administration, the deep state is called the deep state because they run deep, bro. He still has huge enemies, and he's slowly trying to say he's going to investigate people like Comey and Brennan. Brennan's connected all through the CIA still, bro. And here's my thing. And Thomas Crooks, the shooter alone, how's he walking around for as long as you said he was walking around? They clean his freaking apartment. They wipe that shit out so there's no freaking evidence. They spray the crime scene. Let me ask you guys a question. Could the same people, Rob, that were behind this assassination attempt that failed be the same people that are behind the Epstein thing that are telling you, hey, listen, think about this. This is what I've been hearing online too. Hey, listen, DJT, we shot, we missed. We could get you again. oh, by the way, don't you dare release this fucking Epstein list. Don't you dare release it, because guess what? We have a little bit on you too. You remember that party that you were at? Remember that girl that you thought was hot that you were making out with? We have it on tape. Guess what? She was 16. Because when you think of pedophilia, people automatically think To Catch a Predator. Like 40-year-old guy, 12-year-old girl, 13-year-old boy. No. These people get duped, and it's like, bro, what? You wake up and you're like, oh shit, she was 16? I don't. Like, do you guys see like the
I do. I think he's afraid of either being killed or he's afraid of being embarrassed. But I think he should handle the same way he handled Iran, where he's like playing the way he's playing right now, but then out of nowhere just releases it quickly, so before they could even think and react.
Oh, but
Because I've got one theory. Like, I don't think Donald at this point in his life is afraid of, the eternal. You could be more afraid for family, children, grandchildren. I say no. Some people are uncorruptible, but I don't think very many people are uncoercible. And anybody with a wife, kids, family is not uncoercible, though they might be uncorruptible. And so, like, I have my deepest of nightmare thoughts is like, they sit someone down in the room and they play the video of Frazzle Drip, which is a conspiracy theory. And they say, oh, you thought it was conspiracy? Here's the video. You're going to watch it, and this will be your children if you don't play ball.
Oh,
period. And there's nobody on earth who will resist that level of coercion. And then the question is, do you shut up and leave and bugger off into, the whatever and do something else entirely, or do you play ball?
But yeah, because and we're gonna get to the Epstein stuff after this attitude, this energy shift is so not him. And listen, he's not running again in 4 years. But what a stain on us wanting to know the truth, especially like, bro, they tried to kill you. So the only way I wouldn't be like, no, go get. You tried to blow my head off live on television. I'm going after everybody. The only way I would have the attitude of like, I'm okay, is if somebody more powerful than me said, hey, you're good with it. But move on.
Can you imagine being Corey Comparatore's family now? And then I'm satisfied with these security.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. My husband is dead. The father of my children is dead because of these absolute tards who can't do their job to the most basic level. Sorry, I'm not satisfied, and I would be suing. And now I'm wondering if there was cooperation or animosity between the Comperatore family and this investigation, because all that this proves is that Corey Comperatore was murdered as a result of the incompetence, negligence, and I would say criminal negligence of Kim Cheadle, and they should be sued, and they should, I would say charged. But, I'm sorry, we're satisfied that these failings will be rectified. Corey Comparatore's dead as a result of this.
And why can't we know anything about the phones or the guy in D.C. that he was contacting? Or like, why?
Yeah, who was he talking to D.C. and why do you have 6 cell phones? Who are you talking to?
It's bullshit that we don't know that.
Train with the FBI.
I think, Alberto, MK Ultra is a real thing. Yeah. Brainwashing losers like that. And I want people at home to understand, this isn't a fairy tale, Jack Tripper. What's that show? The
Three's Company?
No,
2024.
Any of those shows where it's like Mission Impossible. No, guys. They have brainwashing shit that they do. They get a loser like that Thomas Crooks, that just a white trash that's walking around, has no idea what he's doing. He goes up on the roof, which they let him go up on the roof, and then he's just sitting there with a gun, and then boom.
A roof that had no sniper on it, had no visual to it. Yep. After he was walking around for hours with a rangefinder, a person of interest, they let Trump take the stage because there was no communication between local law enforcement and Secret Service. What if you wanted him to get murdered and make it look like an accident?
That was it.
You would do a better job.
And it was the local police that killed the guy, not the.
No, I think it was the sniper that shot him. But even the sniper is at fault, according to Susan Crabtree's reporting, because he should have had a visual on that roof, which he didn't, because the other guy who had the visual had it blocked by trees. So he just got the shot off by miracle. Yeah. But he should have had a visual on that roof to begin with. Yeah. But it should have been secured. It should have had a person on it or visuals on it at all times, and it didn't.
And who's this?
That's Kim Cheadle. No, wait a second.
No, who's that?
No, Comperatore. That's
Comperatore's wife.
Yeah, Corey's wife.
Can you play this clip of the wife?
My name is Helen Comperatore, and I'm from Sorver, Pennsylvania. On July 13th, 2024, it started out as just a regular day. All of us were extremely excited, my dad especially, to be going to this rally. It was a beautiful, warm day, great day with the family, and we ended up leaving there as a family of 3. 11 minutes in, my husband was shot in the head. Gunshots went off, and my dad was a victim to one of those gunshots. He died protecting my mom and I. All chaos broke loose, and our lives had never been the same since. I want justice for him. I want them to know what they took from me and my kids. My dad made a huge sacrifice for us, and I would just thank him for sacrificing himself. I have all the faith
Young
that
guy.
President Trump will help me get justice for Corey.
Guess what? You're not. God rest his soul. You're not, because just like every other minister, it's all just, under the table, let's move on. Unbelievable. And it's emotional. Dude, I'm holding back tears because of what, like, their lives are ruined. And for the president to go, yeah, I'm good. You're good with complete failure and freaking, dude.
The Iran thing is bullshit, by the way, too. Like that they tried to put it was Iran. Then they start saying that Iran is 2 weeks away from nuclear enrichment, like 3 days after that, too. So I think that's total
Iran
BS.
now. Listen, Iran now is the go-to weapons of mass destruction Iraq bullshit. They need somebody, Rob.
Was this an attempt to usher us into war with Iran early?
Feels like
hey,
that.
the president gets assassinated, they pin it on Iran, they kill this kid, they can't connect the dots, but then they end up connecting the dots, and he is an agent of, this is purely speculation, but he's an agent of Iran. Is this a way? Because we ended up bombing Iran anyway.
Yeah.
But it took a year.
Yeah, I
It took
think
a
they
year.
just sped it up by a year by killing Trump.
Wow,
This was
great
literally
point.
the theory that I was floating and Robert Barnes and I were talking about at the time, is that they were talking about an Iranian threat. In the wake of it, they were drawing some Iranian connections. If it had happened, they would have blamed it on Iran. It would have been a hot war with Iran.
Great point.
Nikki Haley, Mike Pompeo would have replaced Trump at the RNC.
Wow.
They would have been the nominees for the Republican side. And so, and remember when Mike Pompeo was talking about being VP, even though Trump would never have considered him in a million years, the underlying, the happy accident would have been Iran just assassinated President Trump. Now we get our excuse to go into another hot war in the Middle East.
And guess
And
what?
who wants
who
to-
wants to go to war that bad with Iran?
No, but listen, this is another
That's a very
thing.
good point, Rob.
We're just thinking about foreign policy, all right? If that bullet would have hit Trump, that would have been civil war, all right?
for sure.
You guys remember how heated it was at the time? Like, this would have done it. Like, we would have.
I hope you know what? I hope it would have. I think the Republicans, soft as shit.
Yeah.
Democrats with their NGOs and billionaires, bro. What do you mean? George Floyd, they burned down the fucking country.
Yeah, but Republicans are, but MAGA is not. I think MAGA would have revolted. Had there been some type, if they were successful, I think you're right. Republicans would have tucked and then made Nikki Haley the president and Mike Pompeo vice president. But I think the hardcore Trump supporters from 16, the ones that came around in 2020 like myself, we would have been outraged and done something. I don't know what, but we would have done something.
But guess what? Biden's DOJ would have grabbed, like, especially because January 6th, everybody open your mouth and say something, you're all going to go to jail.
It would have been a hot civil war. I remember I was on my way to the RNC. I was in Michigan. I went for a jog. I come back, and it was the first time in my entire life where I said, without knowing if he had survived, because remember when he got back up, they rushed him off stage. You could still suffer a head injury that would have been fatal. I was like, in that moment, I was like, if this were like now Teams and the MAGA was looking for militia signups, at that moment, I was like, yeah, I could sign up. Like, and this for everybody who's calling me a anti-Trump for the criticism over the Epstein. That moment, I was like, yeah, I can understand now how people get recruited, because it would have been devastating
been the
to my
moment.
life that I would have joined something.
Like, I don't think anyone in this room would have gone there.
Oh no! Anything that would have, I would have been involved. And guess what? I would have paid the consequences because it's.
And one last thing, like, they were like, the plan wasn't to miss. All right, that was a kill shot. Like, I can entertain all the theories, Civil War, Israel, DNC, aliens, and whatever.
Blood pack on his ear. You can't entertain. You can't entertain the blood pack on his
But
ear.
I can't entertain because they were actually trying to kill him.
I saw a slow motion of a hole in his ear. But and I've said this before, Robbie, as a marksman, as an expert in two guns, whoever, I don't believe it was Thomas Crooks at all. You shouldn't either. Whoever was aiming for the head is a very good shot. You're nasty, meaning normally it's called center mass. You aim for here because guess what? Kill shot. He's 80 years old. You're killing him if you hit anywhere here. Here he might live, but this is where your front sight or your dot should be. This is sending a message. But guess what? God was like, nope. Got bigger plans, but disappointment.
It was a tight turner, though. You know,
It was very, very tight.
Well, even Joe Rogan this week, I know you want to wrap up and move on, but Joe Rogan, the
sorry.
video with Joe Rogan and Gary Brecka came out where he said the reason why he interviewed Trump and got behind Trump wasn't just the legal warfare that they waged against him, but it was watching him get shot. And Rogan was like, that's enough for me. I want to support this guy because whatever the other side of this is, I don't support.
Yeah, but great. I saw that where he's like, bro, the guy shot up and said, fight, fight, fight. What a moment.
Yep.
What a moment. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.